Mrs. Martin, look, I realize you're upset, but please, sit down. All this pacing isn't helping you.
It's hard
or me.
It's hard to relax when you've been through something like this.
Boy, are you all right?
Ben, thank God you're here.
What happened?
She was on her way to her car. Someone came up behind her, knocked her down, took her purse.
You're not hurt?
Just my elbow, but I told you they took our car.
What were you doing there in the middle of the afternoon anyway?
I was just getting supplies.
And how did they know which car to take?
Well, it's very possible that she's being followed. Someone's keeping track of her movements. Which could mean that they know where you live.
And he's got the keys to her house. Well, that's just great. Now we're at the mercy of some maniac.
I don't think it's that serious.
Oh, no? Well, listen, unless you can guarantee me some kind of protection, I can't assume that it isn't.
All right, that's them now. We're going to be needing a trauma room, so you tell Ellen to move the gunshot wound down into surgery. After that, call the OR. Tell them what we've got, because we may have to bring this case down as well.
Yes, doctor.
Right now. Bring her in here. How long has she been unconscious?
Well, she's been going in and out since we found her.
All right, how long ago was that?
25 minutes.
Is she gonna be all right?
Don't know. She doesn't look good. What happened?
Well, we were having a beer over at Leon's Diner, and some nut comes racing by and dumped her out of his car.
The trauma room's ready.
Good. All right, get her in there right now. Right now. Okay. Excuse me. Would you stay around and get Sally whatever information she needs, please?
Sure.
I'll handle it, fellas.
All right, thanks.
We can't do anything about it, but you gotta keep on living. Now you gotta, you got a lot of hard work ahead of you.
Turn that thing off.
Hard. You gotta put your mind up.
I'm sorry.
Charles, it hurts me when you talk to me like that.
Forgive me.
I always do.
I know you do. And thank you. Oh, my. Feels good to sit down.
Are you going to pour me a drink?
Oh, I'm sorry. There I go, thinking of myself again. Usual?
Yes, please.
Oh, what a day. Just one thing after another.
Really?
Yes, Jason Prescott and his quality control. If he speeded his construction half as much as he does with his explanations, Hollister Mall would have been completed a long time ago.
Really?
There you are. Yes, and then Harold called.
Charles, I like mine on the rocks.
What?
I need some ice.
I am sorry, Nancy. My mind must be somewhere else.
I guess.
Yeah. Harold's little piece of good news was that the prime rate went up a point instead of down a point as we had anticipated.
Is that bad?
Bad. It's a catastrophe. You know what it would happen to our investors if that hit it?
Oh.
Yep. So, needless to say, one by one, they called me all afternoon, demanding that I do something about the construction, pressuring me into speeding it along. That's when I jumped on Prescott. Oh, I don't know, Nancy. I sometimes wonder whether this is all worth it.
Well, at least, Charles, you can do things on your own with something to look forward to.
Oh, Nancy, I am sorry. These problems must seem very small compared to yours.
Well, Charles, maybe I seem selfish, but $1 or $2 million is nothing if you can't walk.
No. I understand. I really do, and I'm sorry for going on like that.
Charles, I know you have your own life to look after, and you can't be catering over me all the time.
Nonsense. You're a priority in my life and will continue to be so.
No, Charles, Hollister Mall has got to be your priority. You have to devote your full attention to that.
Well, I just might have a way where I can combine both of my major interests.
Charles, that's impossible. We know that.
Not if you're a major stockholder as Mrs. Charles Carpenter.
What?
Would you consider it?
Charles, yes, of course I would.
So you didn't see the car she was thrown out of?
Nope, we all ran out, but it had already turned the corner.
Were there any pedestrians around? Might have seen the incident?
Neither one, and I asked the other shopkeepers, but none of them saw anything either.
I want to see Miss Barbara Farley.
Nurse, I'll take care of this. Do you know Barbara Farley?
Is that something you need to know?
I asked you, do you know Miss Farley?
Sergeant, in a manner of speaking, yeah, I'm her employer.
Oh?
And she's one of my secretaries.
Right.
Hey, I'll thank you to take that tone out of your voice. Now, how is she?
Well, she's resting more comfortably. She's been through a pretty tough time here.
Well, what happened?
Well, that's something that I was hoping you could help me with. Now, she's been beaten and kicked severely, and she's thrown out of a speeding car. Now, when was the last time you saw her?
Oh, it was 12:30. I sent her out for some sandwiches.
Where?
Fat Eddie's, corner of Madison and Cornwall.
And she never came back?
No. Ronnie did this.
Who is Ronnie?
It's her ex-pimp. She's trying to go straight. I've been helping her.
Has he got a last name or an address?
Washington, I think. I don't know where he lives, though. Dr. Greeley, look, I want to see Barbara Farley.
Well, all right. Look, but just for a couple of minutes.
Is she going to pull through?
She's got 4 broken ribs, a concussion, numerous abrasions and contusions. But yeah, she's going to make it. Now, look, a couple of minutes, I mean.
Okay, where is she?
She's down the hall, second door.
Okay, thanks.
I really appreciate this, Alex, especially after the emergency at the hospital. One more time, please.
I don't know what good it'll do, but I'll try.
Oh, can I get you anything?
Yeah, a life preserver.
I told you it was going to be wet down there.
Crummy drain.
I heard that.
I just don't know.
Well, maybe it's working. Let's give it a try. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Well?
Hey, it's not leaking.
Fantastic! You fixed it!
Yeah, well, quick, turn it off before the leak starts again.
Look, I have complete confidence in the Alex Greeley School of Plumbing.
Well, that makes one of us. Now, look, if you ever have any more problems with the sink, call someone else.
As I recall, you were a volunteer.
Yeah, you caught me at a weak moment.
A likely story. What now?
A nap.
Oh, thank you for coming, Alex.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. I thought this son of yours was supposed to be some sort of a mechanical genius or something.
That mechanical genius needs help unlocking the front door.
A chip off the old block, huh?
Yep. The other day, he said that he would replace the light bulb in the refrigerator. Well, just to be on the safe side, he unplugged it first.
And don't tell me, he didn't remember to plug it back in.
Oh, he remembered. The next morning. So that light bulb cost me about 6 pounds of hamburger, milk, a few other items.
Yeah, that sounds just like Scott.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't get mad.
You know, about 6 months after my wife died, I got this call from a very irate clothing store manager. He wanted to know why she hadn't picked up a very expensive suit that she'd ordered for me as a surprise. Well, I explained the situation. He apologized. But I went ahead and bought the suit anyway, even though we couldn't afford it. Even though I couldn't afford it at the time. But it's like you say. I couldn't get mad.
You're sorry you didn't have any children.
Yeah, all the time. But maybe it worked out for the best. Beneath this very crusty and benign exterior, there is a very crusty and not so benign interior.
I don't believe that for a second.
It's because you haven't looked far enough.
I think I have.
Did you ever regret having children?
Just once. Mm-hmm. When Peter broadcast my weight to the entire PTA.
Hey, I don't suppose I could interest you in running out for a bite to eat, could I?
It depends.
Depends on what?
Whether you're going to wash this grease off your face.
Agreed.
Well, listen, I'll run upstairs and I'll do some fixing on my face. I'll be right back.
You know, I would like a little company, you know.
What?
Gene, we've talked about you reading at the table before.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought I'd drop by Mama's a little later.
That's nice.
I thought so. Are we going to sit here and pretend that we don't have a problem?
Oh, Carla, come on. Let's not start off on the wrong foot today.
Well, Gene, if we don't discuss things, they'll only get worse. Now, why can't you look at this as a positive situation instead of a negative one?
Because I'm being realistic.
Pessimistic is more likely.
Oh, now, come on. You see what you're doing now?
That's because you've already made it up in your mind that it has to be bad.
All right. Let's get it over with.
Now, there's an even better attitude.
What do you want from me, Carla?
I want a mature response to a serious problem.
All right. I'll try.
Thank you.
Was it any better last night?
I know you tried, babe.
Struck out again, is that it?
Don't look at it that way.
Well, you give me some better suggestions.
Gene, we're in this thing together.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
It seems like I'm the one that's getting all the blame. I don't hear you saying anything about your faults.
Why does this have to be a you or me issue?
Because you make it a you and me issue.
Now, look. I've done some soul searching and some changing. And I've done all that I can. Now, it's up to you.
Oh, my gosh. What are you? The perfect lover?
No, I'm not a perfect lover. But I have found out my weaknesses, and I've done some readjusting.
So who's doing the evaluating?
Now, that's not fair.
Not fair? You give yourself an A+ and you give me a D- and you talk about fair.
Are you unhappy with what I do? Are you?
No.
Then I've done all that I can do, and now it's up to you. And you can do it, but your heart's not in it. Now, I trade that satisfaction for the feeling knowing that you'd want me in a minute.
Carla, now look, this thing has gone too far. I am going to...
Gene!
Carla, I said this conversation is useless. Goodbye.
Wait, I gotta see what the response to Bashful in Brooklyn is.
Oh, buy thicker curtains.
Good idea.
What do you say, Tammy? Got room for one more?
Oh, I think we can squeeze you in.
Hey, Dad.
Sure.
So, when did you start eating breakfast here?
I'm smarter than that. Oh, just coffee, Tammy.
Okay.
Is that all you're going to eat?
Here anyway. I'm smarter than that. So what brings you by?
Well, can a fella drop by, have a cup of coffee, and chew the fat with his favorite son?
Yeah, some can, but you can't. Now, what is it?
You're too suspicious.
You're right.
What would your mom say if she saw us eating in a place like this?
Probably, I told you so, while she handed us the antacid.
Yeah, probably. I remember the breakfast she used to make for us.
Yeah, that was nice.
I miss that. Miss a lot of things.
You know, if that doesn't have an ominous ring to it, Dad, I don't know what does.
What do you mean?
Oh, come on. Out with it. Come on.
Well, maybe there is something on my
Yeah, I'll
mind.
bet there is.
I've noticed lately that you've been fairly successful with the ladies.
Oh, just fairly, huh?
My eyes don't see everything, praise the Lord.
Well, what you don't know won't hurt you, Dad.
I'm not so sure about that.
You want details?
Oh, heavens no.
Here you go, Mr. P.
Oh, thank you, Miss T.
Tammy, you better plug your ears. We got some heavy man talk going down here.
Oh, I'll hide in the kitchen. Holler when it's safe to come out.
Okay.
You're a big help.
Well, what'd you want to know, huh?
Well, do you realize how long it's been since I've had a meaningful date?
Just think of all the sweaty palms you've missed.
Yeah, but now I think I'm making up for lost time.
Just can't connect?
It's a nice way of putting it.
Well, the lady in question, does she know how you feel?
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Or maybe she's just letting you down easy.
No chance. She knows exactly how I feel. She's just too stubborn to admit it.
Well, then get her to show her the errors of her ways.
Easier said than done.
Who is she?
Well, now, that's not important.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll tell you, the traditional methods have always worked for me, Dad.
Yeah, like?
Well, you know, cards, flowers, candy, a lot of attention.
Somebody mentioned flowers?
Oh,
Hey,
now we got
Leon.
this guy.
We are discussing the pursuit of the fair sex.
Well, I just happen to have a cousin who's a florist. Just mention my name and
Right.
25% discount.
Thanks. Leon, you've had good luck with the ladies around.
Haven't been turned down yet.
Well, what kind of tips do you have for someone who's trying to get back on the battlefield?
Well, when I was younger, there was this girl, Roselle. She was crazy for me.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Excuse me.
Come on, Dad. Come on. I mean, listen to this. You might learn something.
Anyway, she wanted to marry me, but the other girls weren't ready for me to be out of circulation just yet. Now, finally, she got frustrated and ended up engaged to some other dude. On the morning of her wedding, she came by my apartment and swore her eternal love to me.
All right.
What's that supposed to mean?
Who says it's supposed to mean anything? I just like remembering it.
Get out of here.
Well, what's bothering you?
I don't know if bother is really the right word. I just didn't sleep much last night. Alex and I went out for dinner.
Great. Not so great?
Well, it was, you know, it just was. Not unpleasant, but not...
Exciting?
Right. You know, Alex is a very nice man. He's considerate and helpful, kind and sweet, and everything a woman would want in a man.
But not this woman.
Afraid not. I spent the whole time while we were out thinking of Jason.
Oh, interesting.
No, maddening is more like it. Why does he have that effect on me? He's done nothing but make me angry.
Well, he's obviously done more than that. These feelings aren't coming from nowhere.
I can't believe this. I'm too old for this. It's depressing to have the same romantic problems as my teenage son. Liz, this is not funny.
Well, it's mildly amusing anyway. Jerry.
Thank you.
Well, does he know how you feel?
I hope not.
Why?
Because I don't want him to have the satisfaction of knowing what he does to me.
Well, maybe he's having the same effect on you.
Boy, I hope so.
Well, why?
I want him to be as miserable as I am.
That doesn't sound like you.
I know, but this is the effect he's having on me.
Well, don't you think that answer is just a little too easy?
It just doesn't make any sense.
You know, Peter's romantic problems are because he's young and inexperienced, but you should know better. If you and Jason are going to continue to act like children, you'll never have anything but a childish relationship.
Alex, look, if you don't want to give me a ride, just come out and say so, okay? I'm sorry. No, I got up on the wrong side of the bed is all. No, it's not in the shop. No. No, look, I'll explain all that later. Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are. Okay, thanks, Alex. Lori, I know you're awake. I can hear you moving around in there. Lori, you can at least give me 5 minutes before I leave. Lori! Oh, well, there she is. That's the Lori Martin who's so easy to talk to.
Did you get a ride?
Yes, I did. Alex is going to pick me up, but he's not too thrilled about it. Neither am I.
No kidding.
Now, I want you to call the locksmith as soon as they open.
I was going to.
Good. Make sure you don't conveniently forget to. And the second you hang up the phone from them, I want you to pick it back up again and call the insurance company.
I was planning on doing that, too.
Fine. I can see we're on the same wavelength this morning.
I'm not a child, Ben. There's no reason for you to treat me like one.
No comment.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're so smart and independent. Why don't you figure it out for yourself?
You're the one who's acting like a child.
You care to review the past 24 hours and make that statement again?
I'm just as sorry for what happened as you are.
Well, that sounds a little bit like closing the barn door after the horse is gone, doesn't it?
The way you're acting, you'd think I'd planned this whole thing just to annoy you.
What, you really think I'm mad because your purse was snatched and the car was stolen?
Yes.
You know, that only shows how narrow-minded you really are. Those things mean nothing to me. Nothing, except for your safety. That's the only thing I'm concerned about is your safety.
Oh, don't start in on that again.
Why not? Because the evidence is too overwhelmingly in my favor? Is that right?
Wrong.
You see, this is exactly the kind of thing I knew would happen.
Right. One more I told you so for Ben Martin. But maybe now would be a good time to remind you that you agreed to my working in Chesterfield.
Yes, I did, but with a great deal of reluctance. Now, Laurie, in light of everything that's happened, I think we need to reconsider your keeping this job.
But I've already signed a contract, Ben. There's no way around that. So how am I going to get to school today? Well?
Do you really want me to answer that?
I'll call a cab.
Fine, fine. You call one if you can find a cab driver who's stupid enough to drive down there.
Oh, Charles, doesn't this sound like the perfect honeymoon? Depart from Baltimore with a stopover in Miami, of course. Then on to the Caribbean island hopping. Oh, let's see, there's St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, St. Croix. Yeah. Oh, you were ready for this, Charles. Look, you go on to the Mediterranean, a tour of the Greek islands. Isn't that wonderful? Charles, isn't that wonderful?
What? Oh, yes, of course it is. How long is it?
6 weeks.
6 weeks? Don't be ridiculous.
I know, it's hard to get all those places into 6 weeks, but it sounds divine, doesn't
Nancy,
it?
I simply can't stay away that long.
But Charles, this is our honeymoon.
But who's going to look after the business and then take care of Miriam?
It's Miriam you're really worried about, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There's no telling what that cult will wind up doing to her.
You know, Charles, I've been giving a lot of thought to this. They have really poisoned her mind. She's not even in control of her senses anymore. We really ought to hire one of those specialists that can go and get her and bring her back here. We really need to get a deprogrammer, Charles.